Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to my talk on Middle-earth: Shadow of War, the sequel to Warner Bros. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. I finally picked this game up during the latest Steam Winter Sale, since I enjoyed the first one, and I heard they'd changed the endgame to get rid of microtransactions, loot boxes, and had rebalanced the game to cut down on grinding in Act 4. Now, before I get too into it, I want to talk about why I bought it. And the answer is simple: the Nemesis system. I loved the Nemesis system in the first game, but more importantly, I love going around dominating different orcs and adding them to my army. That's the only reason I bought the game. I will say that I did enjoy my time with the game, but this review will be mostly negative and me pointing out all the things that infuriated me as I played, so fair warning. So let's get into it. I'll start off by saying I was playing on Nemesis difficulty because, like the description said, I wanted to experience the full breadth of the Nemesis system, but didn't want to play at the hardest Gravewalker tier because I like having the last chance options. And the result is, the Nemesis system still failed me. Honestly, I had the same problem with Shadow of Mordor, which is one of the reasons I increased the difficulty, but the system is not smart enough to figure out the difference between an orc that actually killed me through fighting, or an orc that kills you by chance or luck if you get hit from range off-screen, or if you're already downed. I vaguely remember an orc I assumed they wanted to be my nemesis, but he meant literally nothing to me. I killed him repeatedly and the game kept bringing him back. He wasn't hard or challenging, and I eventually killed him and he never came back. There's an achievement for dominating an orc after he kills you 3 times, and I had to go out of my way to pick an orc, just stand there and let him kill me 3 times, then I had to go back again, shame him to get him under my level since him killing me leveled him up too high to dominate, then go dominate him on the 5th attempt. Even on Nemesis difficulty, no orc could repeatedly kill me. The AI in difficulty just isn't there. It's all artificial, with orcs having a bunch of immunities or just evading every attack, so the fights you have against these orcs aren't satisfying. Rather, you just run around the map hitting them with environmental items until they finally die. I personally don't think that I'm amazing at the game. I get hit a lot, but I never made any relationships with the orcs near me, and I don't think I ever died to an orc more than once except that one time, which was on purpose. It doesn't help that the strongest feature of the game, building your army, is once again locked behind the first act of the game. You cannot dominate orcs until the second act, so you're almost encouraged to not play in the sandbox made for you until you get that ability. I made that mistake and ran around killing all the orcs in the starter areas. When I came back with my dominate skill, they were all dead and I had to go elsewhere so they could respawn. While we're talking about the skills, so many of them are locked behind boring story missions or at the end of trees. Just like Shadow of Mordor, the story missions are boring, tedious, busy work. It's all terrible. I don't care about the tree lady fighting the Balrog. I don't care about the Gondor quest, which literally go nowhere with them heading off to God knows where, and I can barely care about Celebrimbor's quests. They tried adding in more boss fights, and they're even worse than the previous installment. Want to fight Nazgul? Well, just wait until the parry prompt comes up, parry him, hit him with your sword until you can execute, then wait and repeat until he's broken. The final boss fight is even worse because it takes forever to finish off Sauron. You're literally just hitting him with a toothpick for 10 minutes. Not fun. While we're at it, why are the quality of life skills at the far end of the tree? For your main skills, you can unlock them, then upgrade it with 2 or 3 bonuses, but can only have 1 bonus active at a time. For the quality of life stuff, one of them lets you choose between getting better loot from enemies, getting better gems, or dominating orcs faster. Getting loot's incredibly important, but you end up having to go with faster domination just because trying to dominate takes so long and is nearly impossible to get off in a battle where you'll just get interrupted by a random projectile. Even better is the fact that while it says faster domination, it only counts on bosses and beasts, not grunts. So if you're expecting being able to go crazy in a fight then just quickly dominate a grunt to get health back, sorry, that still takes ages. Even though, during the missions where you play as Celebrimbor, he's able to dominate grunts more quickly. Baffling. But on to the absolutely most infuriating part of this entire freaking game that makes me want to rage quit, and unfortunately there's no fix for. Priority. In a large-scale battle like a fortress assault or defense, i.e. the best part of the game, there's a lot going on. Orc captains are breaking, things are exploding, you're getting shot from who knows where or having grunts hit you from blind spots. There are beasts, grogs, drakes, Caragors, everything under the sun running around. Your own orc captains are bleeding out. It's complete mayhem and tons of fun. Until you need to do something specific. Trying to heal your bleeding out captain? Sorry, instead you're dominating this random grunt on the side. Want to dominate a captain? Sorry, you're instead sucking life from your own allied grunt. My favorite is charging a captain with my execution active, hitting it, only to see Talion turn 90 degrees and charge off to a random side grunt. So many times it gets wasted because the game doesn't have a great way to prioritize things. Even worse is when you're damaged and in pain, but have built up your power bar so you want to do an instant combat domination to regain your health, but instead of hitting a grunt, you try it on a captain. But that captain hasn't broken yet, so instead it's wasted. You lose your power bar, get no health back, and chances are the captain will then hit you once and down you. This game is amazing at doing the complete opposite of what you were trying to do, and it makes me want to set my computer on fire. There are a lot of plain annoying facets to this game like that, and there's absolutely no way to fix it. The game can't read your mind, and so it has no way to really know what you're trying to do. Some orcs get skills which make it so they can't break, meaning you can't dominate them and have them join your army. Some have Iron Will, meaning they won't join you either. It's possible to shame them to try and remove that status from them, but I believe it has a 10% chance of working. I tried it on 2 different orc captains, and after repeatedly shaming them, I got them down to level 1, still with Iron Will, and they both died in one hit when I fought them. After that I just gave up. Orcs having that skill just makes them a waste of time and effort. Kill them as fast as possible and move on. Some orcs also have the no chance skill, which means when you get downed you cannot use your last chance, which gives you a second wind and lets you recover. It's complete garbage. More than half the time you aren't down because of the orc you're fighting, but because of the 20 orcs surrounding you, or the crossbow orcs on the walls and towers off screen, or you just got hit by an exploding barrel you couldn't see in the melee. Last Chance is there to encourage you to stand and fight, having fun, rather than running away and hiding every time the game gets a bit hard. There's no point to Last Chance if they can just blank it. You're punishing the player for playing aggressively and trying to have a fun chaotic battle in your chaotic battle mode. Let's explore fortress assaults and defenses a bit more. I'll be honest when I say I'm not sure what the point of overlords are. I know obviously that the overlord for defenses are important for online play, but it really isn't relevant for what I'm going to talk about, which is the fact that they exist in single-player mode. When you attack fortresses, the final stage is to kill the overlord. So you enter the tower, face off against the overlord and his cronies, and if you beat him, you conquer it. Sounds good in theory, but in practice it's annoying because all the great environmental aspects of fights are gone. You're trapped in a small room with infinitely spawning enemies against the strongest captain they have, and you just summon in your bodyguard or a grog, and it's the worst part of the whole assault. On the other hand, for defenses, I have no clue what overlords even do for you. I have never once seen the enemy make it to my keep, because if you die at any point during the assault, you auto-lose. And there's a much higher likelihood of you dying before the enemy makes it all the way to the center of your keep. By that logic, it's smarter to put your best units at the lower ranks and the weakest as the overlord. It's backwards and dumb. Honestly, I feel like once you die, the match should continue with AI only. Or so I'd like to say, but the AI is so bad in this game that it's laughable, but I'll touch on that in a bit. Also, having a 10 to 30 second unskippable introductory cutscene for every orc is unconscionable. Why can I not skip this crap? I do not care about who these orcs are. Sure, it's cool the first 10 times, but when I'm 30 hours into the game, I do not care who this orc is. I've killed hundreds of captains, and I'll forget who he is the second he's off my screen. His speech takes longer than it does for me to kill him. Let me skip this pointless drivel if I want to. Stop slowing down my game. It doesn't help when you can meet up against 15 orcs during a single assault. Nothing says fun like having your raging battle interrupted so that an orc can introduce himself to you, only to have it happen 3 more times in succession. But now let's talk about the worst missions. Pit fights. It's 2 orcs fighting each other controlled entirely by the AI. Your orc versus theirs. And most of the time, it's a 2.5 minutes of sitting there watching them posture, not attack, and then one dies. I had a level 43 legendary orc go up against a level 41 normal orc. I wish I had recorded it. Neither had a mortal weakness to the other, but it was barely a fight. My legendary attacked twice the entire match. Yeah, he took off 49% of the other orc's health with each attack and almost instantly broke him, but he refused to do anything else for the rest of the match, and the normal orc killed him. I got to sit there for 2 minutes watching my orc get hit over and over, having his health bar chipped away until he finally died because he wouldn't do anything. It's the most broken thing I've ever experienced, and even worse because you literally don't even get to play the game. The developers want you to sit there for 2.5 minutes each match and just watch it. And there are 15 of these missions in the entire game. I ended up just loading up the fight, then leaving my computer to do some chores, then would come back to see who won and repeat until I won. It isn't fun at all. Why does this exist? You can sit there for 10 minutes doing, 4 battles or whatnot, and you can lose each one of them. But again, you're not playing the game. On my final note, I want to talk about just how inefficient this game is. Here's me trying to level up my orcs. Not only does the game glitch like crazy when I attempt to swap regions, but you'll see that I'm trying to level up an orc. Unfortunately, the orc is in the 30s, whereas I'm in the 50s, and I can only increase his level by 5 at a time. Not only that, but each time I do takes about 10 seconds. It becomes ridiculous when you hit Act 4 and need to do garrison defenses because you'll be needing to level up your entire garrison by 20 or 30 levels just to get them back up to par, meaning you'll be wasting about 1 minute per orc. And if you have 7 orcs per garrison, not counting additional bodyguards, you can easily waste 10 or more minutes just upgrading. Funny story, I actually recorded myself upgrading just the keep itself for one of my regions, and it took me 6 minutes. 6 minutes of repeating the same action over and over. And if you have to do this for all regions, enjoy wasting 30 or more minutes literally doing nothing. This isn't gameplay, this is busy work. I can, with the press of a single button, upgrade a weapon or a piece of armor to my current level. Why can't I do this with orcs? It's insane. There are so many frustrations to this game, I can't understand how no one thought, hey, let's make upgrading easy with the click of a single button. Especially since the army and garrison are the best parts of the game. For my closing remarks, I did enjoy the game, though this review was mostly negative. At time of recording, I have 36 hours played and am 99% complete. It should be 100%, but for some reason my Nemesis mission tab is stuck at 98%. I googled, and it's a prominent glitch, and no one has a clue how to fix it. So good job, guys. I would say those 36 hours were worth the $20 I spent on the game. Though I will say if I had paid full price, I would not have forgiven the game its many faults. I had fun, but I'm done. I'll shelve this game like I did Shadow of Mordor, and I'm sure I'll remember the time I played fondly, but I have zero desire to ever play through the game again. That's all from me. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.
You're too weak to call yourself an orc.